Okay, so I am returning with another space troop. This is almost the last. Oh, I guess it is the last, technically. Almost. Well, anyway, here's the ninth installment of Spacetroop, The Abandoned Planet. And, hope you like it. And if you don't remember where we are right now, Claire, the main character, has just escaped out of Europa on a space shuttle, like a little escape pod, and Derek is still on Europa. Okay, let's get into it. So anyway, there's Claire's spaceship, and she intercepts a message from Derek to the survivor. Let's see who that is. And it says, "Hey, let's use my army to kill everyone on Derth." So Claire is like, "Oh, so the survivor is going to use an army from Derek and kill Derth." So she says, "I must kill Derth." But anyway, Derek is like video chatting survivor from Derth. I mean, like, it's from Europa to Derth. And he says, "Yes, use my army. I'm sending you. You have my respect for being a survivor. Eliminate Derth." And if you've read the prequel, this could be a clue to who the survivor is. And it says, "Yes, my master." And he, like, leaves the video chat. So Derek goes over here and he's like, "I have chosen you, my elite crew. And, by the way, these are Eurodans. And help me go, charge on to Derth." So, they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go kill everyone in Derth." And this is General Graff. He has these little, like, spiky things on the bottom of his head. Sergeant Stan with, like a 8-ball, staff. Captain Capitano with the captain's thing from Among Us. And then Colonel Mayonnaise. As you can see, he has like a weird bulb thing on his head, which is actually just a hat. So he sees danger on his little radar thing. So Isladon is this planet thing, and then there's Derth, which is where he was going from. This is where he is. So there's okay. So there's Earth, Europa, Isladon, and Derth. 20 years away at light speed from Europa to Derth, and in the middle there's danger. So, Claire starts to follow Derek, and this is the spaceship that Derek's in, and there's like frozen ocean that's like drifting in the air and space, which is what is the problem. And the reason why it's frozen ocean is because Earth got blown up, so where did all the water go? It froze, and now it's a danger. And he's trying to navigate around it. So anyway, let's go back up here. And it scrapes the bottom of the ship, which is bad. And the fuel, since stuff in space doesn't just drip out, it like forms a hole. So he navigates through it, but the fuel is coming out, which is bad. And he's like, "Oh, there's a fuel depletion. I better stop at Isladon before I go to Derth." So he stops at Isladon, and Claire follows him. And by the way, Claire's in Space Shuttle 69. Nice. So anyway, Derek lands at Isladon, and there's like a bunch of lava here. It's kind of like that one planet in Star Wars. So it's like this planet's mostly lava, and there's this weird ghost guy who's like the alien, and he's like, "Whoa, this is cool." And the alien says, "It's not deserted totally though." And Derek's trying to bargain, like, "I need fuel." So this native's like, "Okay, I'll lead the way." And then Claire lands behind this bridge thing that kind of looks like it's another fortress from Minecraft. And then Claire's like, "I need to kill Derek." So she sees this big tower thing that is the headquarters of, this just says HQ on it, so it's the headquarters or something. So Claire is sneaking up the side of the bridge, and the weird native guy and Derek and Derek's whole army are like, and the native is like, "You can get fuel at the top of the headquarters." So Claire climbs onto the bridge, and meanwhile, Derek and his crew are going up this elevator to the top of the building to get the fuel. So he gets to the top of the thing, and he's like, we just need the fuel here. And then, so he's going off to find the fuel, but then Claire comes up, and then Derek's like, oh my god, I found Claire. So, Derek is like, what? And he, like, has fuel there, as you can see. And then he's like, oh my god, she disappeared. So she, like, escapes. And he goes over to the fuel thing, and he's like, a clever disguise, a cloak. Well, I can see through the top of your spacesuit. And, because he's like, well, that's such a bad disguise. So he stabs it, and that's actually just Colonel Mayonnaise. And he's like, I was just cold. So, even though it's, like, an entirely, like, lava planet, and he's like, oh, sorry, Colonel Mayonnaise. So, anyway, Colonel Mayonnaise is dead. And, what's his name? Derek's like, oh my god, Colonel Mayonnaise is dead. So he, like, calls everyone to the emergency meeting, and he's like, we need to kill the person who looks like me. So they're like, okay. So that might put a target on him, because they don't know Claire. So, what's his name? Sergeant Stan is, like, going out, and he's like, Isladon's a creepy planet. And he's outside on the balcony, and he's, like, working on a, like, computer thing outside. And then Claire gets her electric knife and is like, oh, yes, it's a very creepy planet. And you can know what happens next. So she goes up and she lightnings off Sergeant Stan's head, which is very lightning-y. So anyway, Derek goes up to the General Graff and Captain Capitano, and he's like, sir, we've been together a while, but you have broken my trust when you killed Mayonnaise. So, Derek gets really angry, and he's like, and then Captain Capitano's like, don't worry, I still trust you. So, and then he says, I want you guys to find Claire, because, it's implying that he told them who Claire is. So, he goes over to the reactor, and he is like, and then he, like, sabotages the reactor. So Claire's like, what? And then she, like, wakes up, and she's like, I gotta fix the reactor, else I'm gonna die. So she goes to the reactor, and she, like, holds down the one button to try to fix the reactor. And then Derek's like, haha, I lured you into a trap. And then Derek's like, I'm gonna finish you off. And he mutates his arm into a weird claw thing. And he's about to hit Claire. But then General Graff holds down the other button. He's like, wait. And then they stop the sabotage. And then Colonel Graff, like, stabs, what's his name? Derek. And Derek's like, oh, that hurt. So, and then Captain Capitano goes over to kill Claire. But then Claire hits him in the stomach with a huge, like, metal rod thing. And then she takes out her, like, it's not a metal rod thing, it's her electric axe. And she takes her electric axe and then kills Captain Capitano. So then, they both hold down the button, they stop the reactor, like, 100% now. And then Derek, like, jumps up. And then he, like, he's trying to jump on top of Claire, but then Claire walks out of the way right as Derek's about to land on her, and then he lands on Captain Capitano, and then Claire is like, dead body reported, and they go over to this table, and there's two people on Claire's side and one person on Derek's side, so he has to bear with them for a while and vote off people. So, Claire and Derek are both fighting each other like, you did it. And then Claire pushes Derek onto the ejection pad. And then they're both fighting over whether to tell Graff to, like, push the button to eject Derek or not. But he presses it, and he's like, Derek, I can't trust you. And then it makes Derek get ejected. And then Derek was like, well, look into my eyes. I, your boss, your friend, be the enemy? Are you crazy? And then Claire's like, are you crazy? Press the button. And then Claire's like, he's a crazy psychopathic murderer. He meant to kill everyone on Derth. And then Grath is like, I know. And then Derek says, I have good meanings. Let me explain my actions. You can trust me. But then Claire says, no, you can't. He's a liar. Vote him off. And then Derek's like, no. And Claire's like, yes. And then Claire says, vote him off. And then Grath says, Derek, I trust you. And then does not click the button, even though it says click. And then, actually, yeah, okay, so he clicks the button. But then Derek pulls Claire onto the ejection pad right as they get ejected out into this, out of the ejection thing. But Claire holds on, and then Derek falls off, and Claire's like barely holding on. And she falls off, but she pushes off the building, and those knees, though. And then she flies out, and then she puts on heat-resistant mode, flies into the lava. And anyway, Derek jetpacks out of there, and he's bringing fuel to his spaceship in a little fuel wagon. And then he's like putting fuel into it, and then Claire gets out of the lava, and she gets onto his ship, and then she takes one of his jetpacks, and she's like, yep, this is helpful, because there's just spare jetpacks. So she gets on the jetpack, and Derek, he exits the HQ and gets into his spaceship, and he refuels the spaceship, and he goes off to conquer Derth. And that's the end of the 9th installment of Spacetroop. You can read that if you want. And I hope you liked it. I know there's some parts that I probably should cut out, but I'm too lazy to edit it.